Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we'll be talking about the film Nobody 2. Fun fact, Derek Kolstad, who wrote Nobody 2, is famously the creator of the John Wick franchise, considering he came up with the idea and wrote the film. This film came out in 2025 and stars Bob Odenkirk, Connie Nielsen, and Christopher Lloyd, and was directed by Timo Tjahjanto. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. Nobody 2 follows Hutch, an assassin who tries to take a break and go on a family trip, but gets pulled into some drama when he comes across some criminals in the town. Nobody 2 is a family-friendly adventure action film. It has similar vibes to John Wick, Vacation, or Wanted. I saw Nobody after it was in theaters and was pleasantly surprised by how much I enjoyed it. It felt like the child of John Wick and Taken, as it featured the unexpected killing machine and the underground criminal world from John Wick, along with the consequences of messing with the wrong guy from Taken. Nobody 2 has a similar storyline to the first movie, where he is drawn into a fight he doesn't want to be a part of, but one thing he won't tolerate is innocent people being caught in the crossfire. I love how this movie expands more on the lore of this world by showing us a different criminal organization and how they use this town for illegal activities until Hutch comes and starts making their lives more difficult. This film sees more of his family, which is great too, because he's trying to juggle being a person his kids can look up to and an assassin, but also doesn't want to take any crap from anyone. Bob Odenkirk plays Hutch, who is an assassin who is just trying to have a fun time with his family. I love how he was really trying to control his anger and not take it out on people, but people were truly testing him. I love how people underestimate him because of how he looks and how he is very aware of what's going on, even though most people think he doesn't. When someone picks on an innocent person, that really sends him into a rage, and I love to see that he still has morals and will put everything on the line to save someone. He's trying to be a better dad and be there for his kids and not let his work take over his life completely. A refreshing thing about Hutch is that sometimes it is shown that he can take out a lot of men, but sometimes he can't and he calls them back up. Wyatt, played by John Ortiz, who was working for Lindina, helps Hutch after she tries to kidnap his son. His brother, played by Riza, does some slicing and dicing, making heads roll. His dad, played by Christopher Lloyd, is just very unhinged and such a joy to see wreak havoc. When they go against Lindina, they basically turn this water park into a death trap, which allows them to take out her man and eventually to get to her. This was such a fun scene and a great way to show like how smart and inventive this team of assassins could be. And it kind of had like this Home Alone quirkiness to it. I love that his wife Becca comes in and saves him from Lindina, but I do wish that she had a bigger role in the last fight. It was nice to see her take down Lindina, and I love how they teased her great aim earlier in the film, but before showing like how that would play a bigger role. Colin Hanks plays a cricket cop who works for Lindina, and I always forget that I enjoy him as an actor, and I loved him in this more villainous role. It was hilarious how he was the reason that everything got so out of hand because he didn't want to follow orders. He really thought he was invincible, but he was not, and he was murdered by the person who he thought would give him more power. He was a fun secondary villain to follow in the film, to see how he was a little rat telling on the people working for Lindina because he thought that that would get him in her good graces and she would give him more power. The family vacation was fun, but once the action started, it kind of overshadowed the storyline with the kids. I did think that they would have the kids help or bond with them more because it seems like he kept getting pulled away because of the dangers in the town. I feel like we as the viewer see him protecting his family, but from his family's perspective, all he does is disappear. And I would have loved to see him take more of a, role where he's connecting with his kids, since that was like the issue that was brought up in the beginning of the film and the reason why they were going on this trip in the first place. The fight scenes were amazing, so violent and well choreographed. They truly showed how when Hutch was alone, he was thoughtful, and in a group, they all knew what role they played and what they needed to do. Even if they got hurt, they knew that that wasn't the end and still fought to survive. There's a small continuity error at the beginning of the films where the kids leave and then the parents are talking and then they leave. And when they are all outside, the kids are leaving at the same time as the adults, even though they walked out before the parents. It was just something small that I immediately caught at the beginning of the film. My favorite part of this movie was Sharon Stone as Lindina. She was unhinged, and I just loved every scene with her in it, and she showed why people fear her. I loved her intro and how this man had no idea who she was, calling her all types of names. And then when he thinks he's won, she kills him and calls out all the people helping him cheat, and then kills everyone else in the room. This showed that she was not to be messed with and had a zero remorse type of mentality when it came to killing. Her preferred way of herself killing people seemed to be with a knife or some type of hidden blade, which would catch most people off guard. But Hutch's wife Becca was so good at aiming that she not only hits the knife, but also lands a dart in Landina's eye. She was a great villain, but I'm also glad that she got taken out because she was mentally unstable. Nobody 2 is an action movie filled with some great fight scenes and a great cast. And I just love the story of how he ended up in another mess that was more involved than he thought it would be and how it tied back to his childhood. Thank you for watching my video. I would love to hear your thoughts down below in the comments. If you have not subscribed, please do so you can keep up to date with more of my videos. But besides that, everyone stay safe, have fun, and goodbye.